Hi, this is Kathi Quinn with Floriani. Floriani is a division of R&K Distributing, and I want to welcome you to this week's Project of the Week. Well, as promised last week, I'm going to do one more lesson on Craft&Cut software so that you can use it for quick gifts for the holidays as they're coming up. And Craft&Cut using a digital cutter makes it so easy to create so many fun things. So I thought I would take a shape and show you several different things that we could do to it. So let's come on up into our artwork. Now you can see we have these sorted by category here for you. So you could go through and pick out some real fun shapes to work with. So you just get the idea. I just wanted to show you there's quite a bit in here to play with. We also have in here, let's just close this for a moment. Hope has also given us all kinds of fun shapes in here as well. There's some artwork libraries. Hope added a lot of artwork for you. So you've got quite a bit of artwork because remember, in Craft&Cut, that's what it all starts with. Whether you're going to cut vinyl, you want to do rhinestones, you want to turn it into applique, whatever you're going to do, remember, it's all going to start with artwork in here. So I'm going to come in and we're going to just do a simple piece. I'm going to come in and in children's, I think I'll do princess today. We're going to work with the princess. Now, the first thing I could do with this is decide what size I wanted it to be. So let's come on over to our right hand side and left mouse click on the word transform. So I could decide the size of my artwork. So let's go ahead and make this 5 inches wide. We'll leave it maintain aspect ratio so that it looks good. So this is a nice big crown. Now maybe this wouldn't fit on a child's shirt. Maybe it would. Let's look and see what we can do. Now first of all, I could simply cut this out of vinyl. I could use glitter heat transfer vinyl. I could use our foil vinyl. I could just do all kinds of fun things with this. I could cut it out of our sticky vinyl that I could stick onto a cup or a purse or a case. Now the next thing I could do is I could say, well, maybe I would like to put this on a shirt as an applique. So I'm going to come right up to my green bush here and I'm going to left mouse click, and with one click I have turned this into an applique design. Now like I explained last week, this isn't all about embroidery. This is all about cutting. The fact that applique is something we do a lot by using digital cutters, you have been given the option or the ability to do applique in here. So I could look at applique. Now what could I do with the applique? Well, I could decide whether it's going to be a satin, a blanket, stitch around the edge, whether I wanted it to be a fun motif around the edge. So I could come in and play all of this with the applique. Just come in and play. So I could have done that with it. Now, if I had created an applique, well, why would I do it in digital cutting software? Well, because I want to cut the applique piece with a digital cutter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here. I'm going to open this. Now you notice my applique right here says applique. Now if I hit the plus, you can see there's color 1, which would be our placement, 2 would be my tack down, and 3 would be my finish. So I'm going to select this applique because I'm going to look right here and I really don't want to tack down because it's going to look kind of clumpy. It's going to have a couple of it's going to have this extra stitch in here and I don't need that. So let's apply that. So notice how much cleaner it just became. Since I'm not using a satin stitch over this, I'm using a pretty motif. I don't want that extra run of tack down running around here. I'm not going to have a problem because I'm going to cut this perfect because I'll use a digital cutter. But in order to cut this perfect for a digital cutter, I'm going to grab this and I'm going to come up here to my cut preview and simply left mouse click. Notice there it is. Now it has given me an artwork cut file Look right here in our properties box. It says, Kathy, this is artwork. So now I would just save this, File, Save to Cut, and I would decide what I'm going to do with it. Well, this I told you is going to be an applique, so I'm going to use fabric with Applique. I'm going to go to Next. It's going to give me all my settings so I can set my cutter to cut perfect. If I don't understand about cutting fabric on my Brother Scan and Cut or my Cameo or Silhouette or Sizzix, because I can choose whatever I want for cutter, then I can come in here and watch Hope's videos. Now, if you own the Scan and Cut software, of course, you know that the videos also came in the box. But this, if you're hooked to the internet, this is a quick way to get to those videos and watch Hope explain how she's going to cut this fabric, how she's going to deal with it. So all the instructions are here for you. Okay, so let's cancel this and let's go right back over here. So that was that original piece of artwork. So let's go ahead and undo as my friend. Let's go right back to artwork. Now if we come back here and look, I can go back, 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 and now I'm back to my original artwork. Now that is not the ideal. You would bring up a new page and get a fresh piece of artwork. But what I want to kind of drive home today in today's lesson is that this artwork can be used several ways. So we've talked about just cutting it for a vinyl, and I would have gone to File, Save to Cut, and again I would have told it what kind of cutter I'm using, and I would have selected what I'm cutting. Well, maybe I'm going to do some fun heat transfer vinyl, and we've got that new gorgeous glitter heat transfer vinyl that looks so great and would look wonderful as a little girl's crown. Now, of course, I would go to Next, and again, I'm going to have everything I need to know how to deal with this. And since I picked heat transfer vinyl, Hope is going to explain to you in the video, if you're not comfortable with heat transfer vinyl, how to cut it and how to transfer it onto a garment or purse or something else with heat transfer. So let's go ahead and cancel that. Now the next thing I could do here is I could say, I would like to take this, and I might like to say I would like to select this, and I might want to put some rhinestones around the edge and maybe not have any fabric in here, or put it around my vinyl after I cut it. Now I've selected my rhinestones, but I want you to notice the properties box. Now I can select the size rhinestone I'm using. Is it 4 millimeter, 3 millimeter? What is it? I can tell it how much spacing I want in between my rhinestones. And I can put it, this is going along the edge. So we're very happy with that. So that's good. So let's undo. Now I could also select this same thing, same piece of artwork, and I could come up here and say, you know what? I actually want to make a rhinestone fill. So I'm going to left mouse click, and I could fill this crown so I could put all rhinestones on my shirt. So I would use rhinestones, I would use my flocking, I would cut my holes. But again, if I don't know how to work with rhinestones, what am I going to do? I'm going to say File, Save to Cut, and then I'm going to come in here, pick the cutter I'm going to work with, click my drop-down box, and then I'm going to talk about that I'm going to work, since I'm working with that, I'm going to go ahead and tell it that I'm going to use with my flocked, because that's going to cut the holes for my wonderful little rhinestones. So I could pick flock. I'm going to go next. Now it's going to talk about how to deal with this, what I'm going to work with it. Watch the videos. Now I am going to show you right here on our opening craft and cut page. Oops, I'm sorry. I went to the manual. Excuse me. So let's go out of this. Let's get out of this one. Come back to here. I could go to help and I could look at craft and cut training. So with that, I could go to the software how-to videos, but what I'm thinking about is these application videos. Now, of course, these are the same videos, some of them, that are actually in the Save2Cut feature. But if I come in here, then I can start looking at what video do I want to look at? What do I want to do? So I'm going to go through these. I'm going to look at how Hope does her rhinestones. I'm going to look at how she does heat transfer vinyl. There is a whole lot of information right here within Craft and Cut software. The videos are phenomenal. I've watched them. So it would show you what material to put down, how to cut your places for your rhinestones. She shows you how to place your rhinestones in it. She explains step by step how to do the application after creating the file, the cut file that you need. So we've taken one piece of artwork. We could have used it with vinyl. We could have used it with applique. We could have put rhinestones around the edge. We could have filled it with rhinestones, or we could have used a combination thereof. I went and I put just the rhinestones around the edge. Oops, I'm sorry. Let's go back and get my crown back up. I could have just come in here and said put rhinestones around the edge, but I could have already cut a piece of vinyl, maybe glitter vinyl, and then glitzed up the edges without having to place rhinestones, one single rhinestone at a time. If you've got 4 or 5 rhinestones, that's easy. But if you have a lot of rhinestones, that's not so easy. Or how about, let's go ahead and turn this into an applique again. Maybe I want to put a rhinestone just at the points of the crown. So what I could do now is I could just select a rhinestone, tell it what size I want, and I could say I want to put a rhinestone here. So I've got a rhinestone right there. Oops, I clicked on it. Excuse me. Let me get my rhinestone working here. I don't know what I did to that. Let's go back and get my single rhinestone, input my rhinestones. I want to put one here. I want to put a rhinestone here. Well, I'm not having good luck with this. Hang on. I clicked the wrong one. Excuse me. Okay, so I've got my rhinestone. Now I can place a rhinestone. I can place a rhinestone. Oh, I'm seeing on the right side how my rhinestones are being placed. Now I've got a rhinestone in each of these places. The artwork came up right here, and it's the exact size that rhinestone needs to be. So now I could cut out my fabric, then I could send these over and do the same thing as far as if I wanted to put my rhinestones in and put it over the top of my embroidery after I was finished so that I could place all 4 rhinestones at one time. And again, if you watch Hope's videos, she's showing you how to do the application. I'm showing you how to create it in the software, but you can actually watch the video of how she deals with an embroidery design and adding rhinestones to it. So we have a whole lot of information here for you. I hope this helps you to get some little ideas to work forward for our holiday gifts. Next week we'll be back and we'll probably be with FTCU, and we'll talk about some holiday fun in FTCU. So I look forward to seeing you next week. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Have a great week.